True breakthroughs in irrigation equipment are few and far between. But every so often a new and innovative product emerges on the scene. For irrigators pumping water from rivers, canals, streams, and lagoons, that product is here today. Born of necessity, the Riverscreen was developed by a farmer and irrigator who recognized an unfulfilled need and decided to do something about it. The fact is, there are a lot of farmers out there wondering why someone hadn't thought of this a long time ago. The need is that great. Constructed of rust-proof stainless steel and aluminum components, the Riverscreen's relatively simple design and foolproof efficiency sets it apart as a breakthrough product. A truly innovative design, the Riverscreen consists of a water intake port surrounded by a drum-shaped rotating screen. A lightweight aluminum frame and pontoon assembly provides flotation. The stainless steel rotating screen is self-cleaning with a row of spray nozzles mounted inside the drum, spraying water outwards through the 304/8 mesh screen. The cleaning nozzles are set up to spray downstream, ensuring that leaves and other debris blown off the screen float away from the unit. This highly effective system ensures that the screen stays clean around the water intake port. The rotating screen is designed to turn easily and in most cases can be powered by nothing more than the current of the river or stream. For use in slow-moving or standing water, an optional power drive is available. The power drive consists of a row of spray nozzles mounted outside the screen, with the spray directed at horizontal channels to provide rotation. The power and cleaning nozzles are adjustable and can be set up to work on either side of the screen. Another design-specific feature of the Riverscreen allows the unit to function effectively in as little as 4 inches of moving water. This shallow draft capability means that as long as the drum can rotate, the self-cleaning screen will provide filtered water to the intake without cavitations. That sounds fine, you say, but with such a shallow draft, won't sand get sucked into the intake port? The short answer to that is no. The fact is, it takes water velocity to move sand. That's why the intake funnel inside the Riverscreen is 7 times larger than the suction line leaving the screen. This substantially reduces the velocity of the water entering the intake, eliminating the possibility of sand being sucked into the system. That means sprinkler heads won't plug, which in turn results in more uniform water application to your crop. And as an added bonus, fewer center pivot maintenance problems. As a component of your center pivot irrigation system, the Riverscreen has been designed for maintenance-free operation. The aluminum and stainless steel components will not corrode or rust, and the drum rotates on maintenance-free nylon rollers with marine-quality stainless steel bearings. The Riverscreen is available in a variety of sizes and can accommodate 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12-inch suction lines. Pumping capacities range from 100 gallons per minute for the 4-inch line all the way up to 4,000 gallons per minute for the 12-inch system, making it easy to match a Riverscreen to your individual needs. Some situations require multiple screens, while in other cases a single Riverscreen can serve as the water source for 2 center pivots. The Riverscreen is also available with an optional check valve that allows operators to prime or charge non-vacuum type pumps. To help with the installation or removal of the Riverscreen, an optional lifting boom is available. Featuring a 6-inch heavy wall galvanized upright pipe, galvanized truss boom, easy latch hook, and a brake winch, the lifting boom proves to be a good investment, especially when placing the Riverscreen in a difficult location. Constructed of aluminum and stainless steel, Riverscreens are lightweight and can be easily handled by 2 men. The smallest unit weighs only 50 pounds, with the largest Riverscreen weighing in at 225 pounds. The Riverscreen is also completely environmentally friendly. The rotating screen prevents all possibility of small fish or other water-dwelling species to be pulled into the intake port. The unit itself does not utilize noxious coatings or lubricants and will not oxidize and release any harmful materials into the water source. At this point, you need to honestly answer this question. Are you fed up with trying to keep your suction line from pulling in trash, leaves, moss, cotton fuzz, and anything else that might be floating downriver? And tired of inline filters that are constantly clogging? If the answer is yes, then you need a Riverscreen. Farmers throughout the U.S. as well as Canada, Australia, Britain, New Zealand, and Honduras have discovered the difference a Riverscreen can make.
I spent 20 years trying to think of all different kinds of things. I had screens laying parallel to the stream, and I've had them crossways in the stream, and we'd dig holes and try to lay them up against the bank, and invariably the same thing would happen. Either we would pull sand to them, or we would plug the screens with debris that was coming down the river, moss or trees, cotton. Oh, cottonseed was just terrible. And then I found out that Bob was working on his Riverscreens, and I went down and looked at one, and I said, "Oh, I got to have one of those." And now I have 5, and they've just been fantastic for me. It gave me a life. I could start a pivot or start a motor and start the pump, and go ahead and not worry about it. Didn't have to clean it, didn't have to shut down, didn't have to be concerned about sand. All I had to do was make sure that I had about 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 inches of water in the river, and that I had enough water going on by that I wasn't sucking the river dry, and the things just take care of themselves. I mean, it's just been amazing. They're just foolproof. I mean, it's been wonderful for me. I can smile because I know how good they are, and I know what a difference they've made for us up here. And I've said this 2 or 3 different times, and I really believe this. If you have a sufficient amount of water and any kind of a flow at all going by, and you're pumping with a Riverscreen, and like myself here, I would 10 times rather pump with a Riverscreen out of the river with those conditions being good than I would out of a well.
Oh yeah, anything that get through. All of my screens was too big, and it was a pulling these snails and small catfish, little frog tadpoles that hatch out by the millions. We was stopped sometimes more than we was sprinkling, cleaning them things out. And the debris would go clear out to the end, and it would plug up the rainbird that we had out on the end. And so he asked me what I thought, and I said, well, I still owe about $400,000 on this farm. And I said, I'd have had the thing paid for if I'd had this in '82. And I would have. Yeah. But you lose a whole crop. Like 3 years ago, I lost a whole crop of corn, 180, 90 bushel of corn. That'd make a big payment. Seems like the conditions, I don't know whether it's herbicide, fertilizer, or what, but boy, I'll tell you, this algae buildup is something vicious that floats on top of the water. And then we're always sucking off in the bottom anyway. We don't have that much water, so we have 15, 20 feet. We're always sucking off the bottom, and they said, well, this thing will suck off the bottom down to 3 inches, and by golly, it will. Before, when you got these other types of suction, it gets to whirling, and you might have 3 feet of water in the pond, and it's always a dying. You got to float something out there to stop that whirl. This thing just eliminates everything. It just sits there and runs till there ain't any water left. We haven't had problem 1. Bob come up and installed it, and since then we shortened up the line a little bit, and she's just working perfect. So I don't know if there'd be much improvement you could put on the thing. It just works, that's all I know. That's all I'm interested in, something that works.
So if what you're using is more of a problem than a solution, do what more and more irrigators are doing. Get a Riverscreen. If you're still not convinced, then consider this. The Riverscreen comes with a 1-year warranty on the entire assembly, and satisfaction is guaranteed.